you go. Okay, examples of sausages from what is called conversion process.
So are you interested in the So from your programming,
for us, our location for us during the daytime, it's beneficial for us to use telescopes from overseas because they're at night.
Exactly.
So it's the same. And location.
Okay, if you folks can come to a stopping point.
And what we're going to ask you to do as we start, each group gets their couple minutes to share, is that I know the sharing is going to bring up ideas and things you want to add, and we don't have time for that. So, what I'd like to suggest is that you write those down, and we'll add those as we afterwards. Yes.
Okay. All right.
That'll
be fine. Or if it comes up, it's quick. We can throw it in. Grant is going to be our recorder of this. So go ahead. Let's start off.
We're going to start over here.
Okay. Just read down what you left.
So right here.
Yep.
HOU is open to all who love astronomy and education.
Because they're open to all who love astronomy and education. Great. Go. Next one.
People.
It
includes people from all countries. Kind of like the second part of the first one.
Go ahead. Just hit the end. He said we could pull this. Oh, you want separate? All right. Yeah. Second one.
There's open access to data. We also just pointed out to lots of data. Maybe that's our negative, too much.
So what have we learned from that? So has open access to lots of data.
To organize the data.
Okay.
That's
what we've learned is that we need to organize the data. So make sure you put that up there. We need to organize the data. And don't worry about the spelling errors. It doesn't pick it up.
Everyone who comes in has good ideas.
Yeah, it's like a respect for creativity here.
And the last one, astronomy attracts people.
Go ahead.
Okay. That's
Yep.
here. Move to the back.
We said that astronomy is a piece of many other disciplines. It's multidisciplinary.
Just put in parentheses interdisciplinary. Don't worry about it.
It's something that HOU certainly is something that you can have, but some people can go into great depth and attract a group to that interest.
Anything else, Tim? Okay, right back here. Okay.
The main point that we really discussed is that HOU does to some extent, but that there's also the need to not only start new projects but also see them through. And I think all of us have seen a lot of projects that were started and then halfway or almost within sight of the finish line were dropped because funding ran out, people lost interest, or the semester was over, or something else. So I think it's very important to create a way to make sure things that are created don't just get created for now, but also people see things through, and second, things are recorded or deposited in a way that they can that they can survive long-term and be used by other people long-term.
So what you might visualize out of this cloud is a group that forms spontaneously of programmers with an interest in astronomy that develop some wonderful piece of software, put it up on the cloud.
That is used by students in the classroom and have student work there to demonstrate usefulness. It's like,
There can be two groups that spontaneously develop.
I'm getting dressed up to go fishing. I go fishing. I catch a fish. I go home. I fry it in my frying pan. I eat it. So it's from the beginning to end.
So what I'm hearing is that we've learned that there's a need for sustained support. And
not only support, also. If I come up with if I have a wonderful fish at the end of my fishing rod, that doesn't do anything unless I see through that the fish actually gets eaten.
I like the fact that we're concentrating on the seafood rather than the spiders.
Yes.
okay, so have we captured it? We captured what you guys were, the essence of what you were looking at. Is there something we need to add there?
That's the end. Every project should end with that level of support. Yeah.
Anything else? All right, so
Okay, so we have several items. So GHOU taught us that sharing resources is the key to success.
Nice.
Taught us that it's very good to meet people. For instance, in the training session, that teachers interact with each other and build collaboration, international, regional, national, whatever. It's a very good means to achieve that. It's also a very good place to have a meeting between promoters, which is precisely what we're having here. So different countries, different cultural reality. So it's a very building moment, structural moment to build interracial, intercultural knowledge among all of us.
Okay, so what you're trying to capture here also is the sense that what we've learned is that GHOU has shown us the importance of getting people together. Okay. On lots of different levels, different cultures, different professions.
Different ways, different everything.
I get goosebumps. That doesn't happen for just any old idea.
okay, so this GHOU is a good place to meet and promote multicultural, multi-level interaction.
For instance, now, the teaching now is really, it's really an American way of such a meeting right now is development.
Okay, do we have anything else?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's also a collaboration between schools and students.
Okay, go ahead.
Something very special. A different cultural related interact, like going students with Muslim students or vegan kids, especially hero kids. This is very rich, really very rich.
Okay, so we've learned that it's important and astronomy is a good vehicle for doing it. Okay.
Astronomy leads to...
Can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah.
Let's just go to the next page.
I think it also leads to on the last one rather than leads.
There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, astronomy leads to collaboration because you need, like for instance, social media talk today in the morning, collaboration with other faculty of the planet. Or you need follow-up and observation that can only be done using vision, kindness. Okay, so astronomy leads to international collaboration. Okay, he also taught us that classic academic teaching is not enough. So the new ideas come up. New ideas come up through new ideas. New ideas.
Yeah, it's a place to generate new ideas. We generate a lot of new ideas.
More, we can collaborate with other organizations and fields like biology, and one good example is astrobiology or J that was built upon J, or we have Nicole here collaborating, becoming a member of our family, or Astronomers Without Borders, so we can collaborate with other organizations, and we are perfectly integrated into what Stephanie is doing.
Okay, so not only have we done, but we really know that we're able to do those things. We already have some set abilities.
The GHOU is also set in the direction of future learners.
Can you explain that just a little bit more?
Always learning which field learn in the future.
So it's showing the way.
Okay, so we're kind of on the edge. We can explore new things.
Okay, we do need to pick up the pace in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Two more. Open the door to teacher contributions, like what Anna showed us, teacher contributions, and open the world of research to students.
Okay, very good. Next group.
You will share this with all of us.
Yes, everything shared.
So, Rosa has said some of the things discussed. We tried to group our discussion in 4 or 5 main parts, which we saw from the global community for astronomy. So we had the people, and what GHOU has done has attract people from different careers, different areas of the cultural diversity, and not only have they joined the GHOU community, but they came back and GHOU that the different communities and introduced multiple communities. And then we also talked about the synergy between promoters. That GHOU has worked with other promoters who are doing similar activities in astronomy, like Rosa has again mentioned, the Dark Sky project, for example, the Universe Awareness, which are other projects we've collaborated with the hands-on users. Then you have the software, where you have GHOU collecting all the software through Galileo, the training program, website, and sharing it to the GHOU community, but also anyone else who's interested in getting the software and using it. The telescope network, which is really interesting because people are able to enjoy other skies at night during the day because of the telescope network, and also use telescopes if they don't have access to telescopes. That's what GHOU has provided. Then we also looked at the social network, which is now growing. Already GHOU has a Facebook page, and we have learned that we should use other social networks like Twitter, Google+, and we now have a Hands-on Universe, a YouTube channel. So. And then there's one more point where the common goal, we all seem to share common goal as GHOU promoters, which GHOU has brought, and the common goal was to advance the world, which is unique in everything. So that's what we discussed.
Thank you. Okay, let's do it.
Last? Okay. Well, I think just about everything we talked about has been covered from everybody else, but the way we communicate with each other, I mean, we're here face-to-face in one room together, but we also have online internet from up here that we learn from, so that's really important on how we can get our information out, the HOA websites, etc. We talked about resources, how important they are, that they are shared among everyone. Examples that were given here was Salsa J, that was came from EHOU, is that right, Alan? Okay. And then Astrometrico from Austria, and then they're shared, with everybody. We talked about telescopes. If you're here in the United States, daytime in your classroom, you want to use telescopes, where do you have to go? You have to go to other countries and help share those resources. We're just a mass resource of intellectual people from around the country.
Okay, let's go straight to question 2. We're going to revamp camp here just a little bit. You're gonna go ahead and come up with your ideas for question number 2. We have 5 minutes for discussion. We're gonna ask that one person within your group get their computer, okay, and then you'll type up your ideas or your responses to question 2, and then you're going to email them to me at tspuck@hotmail.com. What we'll do is we want to try to get the ideas. So, question 2 is up here.
Oh, you get your computers back.
Alrighty, so we need, what are the current most effective best practices and resources?
And here's question 2. So this is what we need you to discuss and respond to. I'm going to put it right up here on the board.
So we've got what are the current most effective best practices and resources within HOU or elsewhere that could help support and sustain the emergence of spontaneous global communities for astronomy research and learning. If you need any clarification on that, call me over, just a laundry list. Just get them out there. What's currently going on, HOU or elsewhere?
There's my email. That's where you can send it to.
I think most of that we are trying to teach.
So again, we're just really trying to get this flow of ideas from you, since you are such a wealth of great information.
I think we have we combine activities that are hands-on activities, building models.
And where do they find those? Like at the research?
Well, what I'm saying is we're seeing best practices to combine data analysis with concepts from astronomers, with building models, with hands-on. Richard, you started time? Scientific knowledge from our...
Just scientific knowledge?
I don't know. Well, anyway, I just think that if we're going to present a concept that it has multi-facets, there's hands-on activities, there's background knowledge, there's data that can be analyzed.
So where would be a good resource for that? Does the
multiplicity of websites.
I know that the HOU website has links to different resources. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know what the HOU website is. I think it's a collection of websites.
Well, there's HOU, there's GHOU. The links beyond the HOU.
But I think it's kind of style. The style is that you teach, you tabletop activity.
But see, like me, if I'm going to teach astronomy and I need a resource, I give the sun. My resource to get that would be to go to the internet. What would HOU? Where in HOU would it offer me information on that level? That to me is a resource. But is there a place on HOU to do that?
Where there are resources. Well, you use the European hands-on internet. Yeah, all those websites you said have activity.
The HOU website, the GHOU website, the HOU website.
Sorry, the Yerkes.
Yerkes website.
Spain.
There needs to be a website. EHOU will give me the time. Right. It would link to it.
So we have a lot of research. They're not real.
They're not the starfish yet. They're different legs.
That's your 2-minute warning.
Because that's what I know. If I come up and I have to teach, whatever it is I have to teach for astronomy, I need that resource to get back to kids. Where can I find a great lab to teach, the brightest spectrum, blah, 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 blah. The spectrometry, of the stars.
These are people of paper out there. Yeah. We're starting.
What else you got, Alan?
I've got, well, the practices we have involve telescopes and activities.
We have guidance telescope.
Well, every country has telescopes.
Right.
And I have.
What we need is we need to extract the best or have a method of renewing them. Like, I want to do a Cepheid activity, I want to know, and I want to see the stars. I mean, what should I use for what telescope,
Images for Isaac, and there was one of our images, and it was what kind was it? It was and I want
I know, they don't talk to you before. That's
In common archives. For data.
And wrap up your last thoughts here. Where did that Thank you. And this time we'll start over here.
No, actually, you're just emailing them to me because
we're moving.
Aren't we up?
Yeah, we got 7 minutes.
Okay, so we want to go to questions. You go ahead, you have this typed up, email them to me. Did everybody email them to me?
in the future,
I don't
Email it at 1.
Okay.
You can put them together.
Okay, here's the ultimate goal. We want to we really need to collect these ideas. We might not have time to discuss them here, but there will be an opportunity to discuss them in the future. But while we have you guys here face to face, because I want to tell you, I'm a huge believer that the cloud or smart cloud, there's not going to be any video conferencing equipment that's ever going to replace a face-to-face meeting. Right? You're going to get more out of a face-to-face meeting than you are out on the virtual meeting. But, getting your ideas here now while you're face-to-face, and then we will go ahead and in the future be video conferencing and things like that on how do we move forward from here. We need to build off of the ideas that you guys come up with. So you can email the responses to question 2, and then this is your third and final question that we need to ask you. Kevin?
Could you physically write yours?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so what emerging resources and best practices should we be preparing to evolve into in the future? So what sorts of things do you see on the horizon that you think, we better be aware of that technology or that trend or that, possibility? Write those down.
And for email?
Yep, for email.
I think it's great that we should know
If we teaching our computer kids. They were born into male. My age, I was born in 8. I never
Okay, now,
Well, I have remembered students know more than we do.
yeah.
And these young teachers that are coming out, they know.
Okay, and so that we have to keep abreast of technology. Well, I mean, is that we have to let go a little bit to let the younger people are more savvy with the possibilities of technology.
Yeah, young
Give them
teachers have a
responsibility, we have to give them guidance and enough stepping stones, and then give them projects so that they can experience. But on the other hand, I mean, I think we don't give them learn, like, computers, learn programming and things like that. They know how to click the buttons and understand what's making things work. We don't know how to do this if we're not teaching it to them. And leapfrog, skip ahead, not slow people how to do it. Right? In China, young people are very smart in China. Yes. Yeah.
At least in computers and things like that, they learn at a very young age. We need to interlink all the resources into one resource. All the HOU resources. We need to put our stars together. We've got a lot of arms out there that we don't have a central.
So, so Alan, when we were talking about China, about putting an China resident to Stanford University.
Explain to me how is it GHOU and then the branches are the E, A?
No, it was names and JA, each country was then becoming an HOU country, and then it was like, well, let's have a global meeting, and then it became GHOU.
Well, I mean, GHOU is I believe that we have handed over the but it's and so they're equivalent. They should, if they're not already, they should. HOU is just a shorthand of a global approach.
Yeah, but I mean, it was when it was just the United States.
It originated in the United States.
But it is the EHOU.
That is
European.
China HOU.
China HOU. We're the U.S.
So global then would be
formerly HOU.
So GHOU should be the parent, the place to resource.
Not so much the parent as the central node.
Central node.
Yeah, the whole shebang. And in fact, part of
That is your 2-minute warning. One more time. 2 minutes.
So if there was a central location for someone to go for resources,
although I don't like the website. It's not together. Well, it's really hard.
Do you need another website to work?
Well, and I don't know if they're suggesting, are you suggesting that the community trying to be collaborating with blah, blah, blah.
Where?
I'm not suggesting anything. Yeah, we're not suggesting.
There are several people who have edited access. I have edited, but in a limited
So this is going to be I think the other emerging resources that need is online collaboration. Yeah.
the whole thing. When in the United States, but not in China.
Online collaboration.
We need to interlink HOU resources into one super online.
Here is Tom Moran when you need it. I know, we need it, we talked to one. Okay.
Are we sending it?
All right, Kate, what's your attention? Okay, it's time to wrap it up. And we appreciate if you get those emails to Mr. Spuck. And Tim, why don't you go ahead and what we're going to do next?
Okay. Just a quick idea. Greg, right? Craig. Okay. Craig told me at the beginning, he said he really hadn't been in HOU, so Grant, I'm sorry. Hadn't been in HOU for a while and really didn't have much to offer. But I think he just brought up a great idea and something to consider. Because ultimately, as you are well aware of, and I'm very sensitive and very protective of my privacy, and so are many other people. The idea of them being part of a cloud or in a system and being monitored on a continual basis, their activities being monitored on a continual basis, may be something that turns people off. But that doesn't prevent you from having the cloud and you as part of your login being able to select to be part of the smart cloud or part of the just you're observing and you're just coming in and you're going to have to navigate around the cloud. The cloud's not going to advise you on anything. It's not going to say, hey, this is there or that's there. So that you can make that selection when you enter into the system so that you have control of your privacy. So that might be one way around that because I can see that as being a potential issue. So, Grant, thank you for the great idea. It's just, one more piece to the puzzle. It's one of the things that we should put up here as far as emerging resources and stuff like that. But where we go from here is this. We've already talked about how things come, they get started, and then they die. Okay? The idea of the smart cloud, or this concept that we've talked about, okay, is that it doesn't matter if part of it dies, because the rest of it continues to live on. It's a matter of getting it from this concept idea, from this vision, into something that's real. And once it's there, it's going to be awful hard to kill it, okay? Even if you try. And so that's the beauty of the concept. So, what our next step is, a real, live, working group to put this together in something that's more cohesive. I mean, I don't understand programming. I understand a little bit of it. But I certainly do not have a clue as to how to create a smart cloud. I know how to say it. I know how to kind of say, this is what I want this thing to do, but I don't know how to do it. But what it ultimately means is that there needs to be financial resources that flow into it. So the next stage on this is a working group that works on this, puts a grant proposal together. We identify where we potentially could go for money, whether it's the Gates Foundation, the National Science Foundation, cyber infrastructure types of programs, or if it's somewhere else, some other company, IBM, something that's a global company. But to pull a group of people together who's not going to say, yeah, we're going to talk about this, and yeah, we'll talk about it next year at the HOU meeting, and we'll have a presentation the following year. We need to move on it and make it happen. And what we want to be able to do is to say, look, there's lots of interest in creating these kinds of communities, we have an astronomy group that's ready to go to do this, and so give us the money to develop the infrastructure for the smart cloud for this group, and then other groups or other people can use our model and build from it. So that's what we're interested in. It's not purely a discussion group, but a working group. So understand what you're committed to. And here's the sign-up sheet. You do not have to sign up. It won't be held against you. Nobody will say anything or make you feel guilty. But I'm going to pass this around. Yes?
Why the name Global Community for Astronomy? Can you change that?
Oh, yeah.
GHOU Community for Astronomy.
It doesn't matter.
It is. However, I don't think that GHOU, because I don't think that HOU, then you're giving it a head. You're giving it HOU as the head.
I have another question.
So what we really want, I mean, even though this GHOU is going to be the platform, and this is where we think is the best group to start this and to do it, and to get it, to be involved, we want to model what we want this to be. So I think it's important that there's an absence of any, that this is this group.
Now, the question is just that I'm very sure that many people here will volunteer their time to help. But I'm pretty sure they won't be happy if, in 3 or 4 years you see NASA Community for Astronomy using because it helps create our volunteer work. So this is something.
And that's something to evolve. That's part of the reason I really brought up the issue of looking at management style. Is that if we make a conscious choice that we want to be a starfish, we want to be leaderless, I think that model gives us the best opportunity to become truly global, truly international, even though we see the potential right now of money available here in the U.S. for doing this. Making a cloud with money from a particular place doesn't limit you, I think, in terms of becoming, once the cloud's there, it doesn't limit you from becoming a truly starfish organization. I put a lot of thought into this, and I can share that more later.
One other thing that I want to mention is because it's a different concept, and I understand organizations need financial resources to survive and to function and to grow and to do things, and part of that is they have an identity. What we're going to ask with this, and I know it's going to be a tough sell, but I think if we don't model it from the very beginning, I think we'll lose it. And that is, we have to believe that this isn't Carl, this isn't Viv, this isn't Alan, and we're not going to put that name on the hold-on. It's that we're going to say and recognize, we're going to be the cell, and we're going to say, look, I recognize...
Stop, because if you go on so long, maybe...
No, hang on a second. Yeah, let me finish up what I'm saying. Okay, if you're...
It's very hard for us to do what we have done. It's completely different from our culture. It's shocking for us what we have done. And then it's like, why? So please don't go too far. She said very quietly, what is just something that we feel deeply in Europe culture compared to what you have proposed. So of course, we have taken the idea that it was your way of telling the things that we have went on. But there is something very important, very deeply important in Anthony Nicholas Berry, that is open and community. In French language, we always say it's American, it's English, it's not French. Even the French one. Because we want open. And open is more important than community. Even if somebody doesn't give us the money because we are not a community. It's very, very difficult for us. I am sure that in 2 minutes I cannot explain such a different culture. That is a very big difference. And if we want to have a global we have to be conscious of that. If we don't want to have a community and community,
for my own, and I suppose for others. We want to hear open universe. I have my idea, and I would like to hear open universe. Not the same. Maybe for you it sounds the same, but not for me.
Okay, I might be misunderstanding. There might be a misconception, but if I just heard you correctly, you want an open universe. That's exactly what we're proposing here.
But the geometry way is not the same. So maybe it may be a problem for us to decide something. You know, a circle is not an infinite line or things like that. A fractal is not an ellipse, and so and so. I can give you many geometrical examples. So it's difficult. I think it's important to be strong. We are a strong group, that's all. We are a very strong group. Then we have each, what is our strength is to have various cultures. And when I talk to the French government to have something, and when Roger talks for communists, I don't talk for communists, I talk for all the things. But when we talk as groups. And for us, it has not at all the same meaning as community. I work my whole life to change the idea and to open people.
Okay. And then we'll go right back to you.
Two hands on the astronomy program we have. I have tried for 5 years to get Africa involved in handling universe. There's so many Africans who are doing astronomy, and yet it does not come to our community or people what you want to do. And I personally feel this is a really good idea to bring in, the global community or astronomy or whatever name you like to call it, to bring in anyone who's in astronomy who wants to be part of that community, global and astronomy. So I just feel we through that, I don't know if I feel that
where they will be is here.
I didn't explain myself already. And the thing is that, like, each degree has a different name.
Right.
And in the end, it was an effort just to it should have been called GHOU. Now, DCP is globally known, not GHOU, which is what we say, because everyone is trying to help, and no one did. So GHOU was the group that embraced DCP and to be sold. So it was deserved that
Let me go ahead. This title, what it's called, is certainly open for the working group to make a final decision on.
It's totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
Whatever, and even how it looks, or what management does. But just for the case of this discussion, we sent it out on this platform just to get from you just what we're getting now.
Right.
All these ideas and all, I've got no idea how the different cultures view these things, and that's what we got, and that's what gives me.
So quickly, right here, go ahead, and there was a final comment, and then we're going to go to Rich's program.
Okay, I have two actual questions. Sometimes when you say we, I'm wondering who you're talking about. And other times when you say we, it sounds like you're talking about we as global hands-on universe. And so I sort of think maybe you need to think through that, whether it's...
Now, we is everybody in the universe that's interested in astronomy, learning, and research. That's it.
Okay, we, which includes a lot of people who are not in this universe.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing I'm wondering about by bringing this proposal forward, since you work with or for NSF, do you know the grant that's coming down to the pipe that this might fit with?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that makes sense.
But it doesn't, I'll be very cautious about that since I am there. I may make people aware of certain things. There's a trend that's moving, okay, and this is the trend that it's going. So I would not be able to actively participate in a writing of a grant to NSF because of a conflict of interest.
Okay, so if this is coming down the tube and someone gets it, they're building a global community for astronomy. I think that that's rather strange to have some group from somewhere start building a global community of astronomy and then try and pop it over astronomy all over.
Oh, no, we don't want to pop it over.
I think it's all great ideas, and I'd love to have another.
Yep, and we can talk about these later, but we've got to go to Rich right now. So thank you folks very much.
Thank you. Please stand by.